Have you ever felt like someone could make you say yes when you wanted to say no? Or maybe you've caught yourself agreeing with something that deep down didn't feel right, yet you couldn't explain why. That's not a coincidence. That's dark psychology at work, the hidden science of persuasion and control. It's not about magic, and it's not always evil, but it is powerful. In today's video, we're going to pull back the curtain and expose how master manipulators, influencers, and even everyday people can shape your decisions, often without you realizing it. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss deep dives like this one. And remember, this video is about awareness and self-protection, not teaching you to manipulate. Knowledge is power, but wisdom is knowing how to use it. So, what exactly is dark psychology? At its core, dark psychology is the study of how human behavior, emotions, and cognitive biases can be exploited for influence. Think of it as the darker twin of positive psychology. While positive psychology helps us thrive and grow, dark psychology focuses on control, manipulation, and persuasion. It's not limited to villains or criminals. Politicians, salespeople, advertisers, influencers, even your friend or partner might use elements of dark psychology, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. The foundation of this concept rests on three principles: vulnerability, influence, and control. Every human being has emotional weak spots. We're wired to seek connection, approval, and safety, which makes us vulnerable. Through influence, people can nudge us in certain directions, and with enough consistency, that influence can transform into control. Understanding these principles doesn't mean you'll suddenly become manipulative. It means you'll be able to recognize when others are trying to pull your strings. Now let's talk about the tools of persuasion. In psychology, we often discuss triggers, or shortcuts our brain uses to make decisions quickly. These triggers save time and energy, but manipulators can exploit them. Take reciprocity, for example. If someone gives you something, even something small, you feel pressure to give something back. A marketer might hand you a free sample, and suddenly you're more inclined to buy the full product. Authority is another classic. We trust people in positions of power or expertise, which is why ads love to include doctors in white coats or testimonials from celebrities. Then there's social proof. If everyone else is doing it, it must be right. Think about how many times you've been swayed by reviews, ratings, or trending hashtags. Scarcity also works wonders. When we see a limited time offer or only 2 seats left, it creates urgency and bypasses rational thinking. Finally, commitment and consistency play a huge role. If you commit to something small, like signing a petition, you're far more likely to follow up with bigger actions, like donating money. On their own, these principles are neutral, but in dark psychology, they're turned into weapons of influence. That brings us to manipulation tactics, the darker side of persuasion. Here's where things get unsettling. Gaslighting is one of the most sinister. This is when a manipulator makes you question your reality. They might say, "I never said that. You must be imagining it," even when you know you heard them. Over time, this erodes your trust in your own memory and perception. Then there's guilt tripping, where someone uses emotional debt as a tool. "After all I've done for you, this is how you treat me." Instantly makes you feel obligated, even if you did nothing wrong. Fear exploitation is another powerful method, often seen in politics or marketing. By exaggerating threats, manipulators trigger primal survival instincts and push you toward their agenda. In relationships, one common tactic is love bombing, where a person overwhelms you with affection, gifts, and attention, only to later use that attachment to control you. The silent treatment works too, where withholding attention or affection forces you to chase approval. And then there's anchoring, a favorite in sales. If a car dealer first shows you an extremely expensive model, the next one automatically feels like a bargain, even if it's overpriced. These tactics aren't random, they're systematic. They exploit our deepest human needs, the need to be loved, respected, safe, and socially accepted. You might think dark psychology is rare, but it's not. It's everywhere. It's in advertising, when companies push limited deals that pressure you to buy now. It's in politics, where speeches stir fear and promise safety. It's in the workplace, when a boss uses silence or guilt to squeeze more productivity out of employees. And it's in personal relationships, where partners manipulate emotions to maintain control. Even social media isn't free of it. Platforms are designed to keep you hooked. Notifications, likes, and endless scrolling tap into your dopamine system, creating behavioral addiction without you realizing it. When you zoom out, you see that dark psychology isn't just a niche concept. It's a lens that helps explain why you make the choices you make. And more importantly, it shows whether those choices were really yours. So how do you protect yourself from manipulation? The answer lies in awareness and self-defense. The first rule is simple. Pause before reacting. If something feels urgent, step back. Scarcity and urgency are classic tricks, and the moment you slow down, you break their power. Second, always check the source. Ask yourself, who benefits if I believe this? If the answer is clear, you've spotted the manipulation. Third, strengthen your self-esteem. Manipulators prey on insecurity, and the more confident you are, the harder you are to control. Fourth, learn to set boundaries. Saying no without guilt is one of the strongest shields you can build. Finally, familiarize yourself with the language of influence. Once you know what gaslighting, guilt tripping, or anchoring look like, they lose their grip on you. Manipulators thrive in the shadows, but the moment you shine light on their tactics, they lose control. But here's something important. Dark psychology isn't always evil. Persuasion itself is part of everyday life. A parent convincing a child to study, a teacher inspiring students, or a coach motivating athletes. These all rely on influence. The difference lies in intention. Influence becomes dangerous when it turns into exploitation. The same techniques that can inspire and heal can also manipulate and destroy. That's why mastering dark psychology isn't just about defense, it's about ethics. Gaining this knowledge equips you to protect yourself, but it also gives you a responsibility to use influence with integrity, not harm. So, what have we uncovered? Dark psychology is the hidden art of persuasion and control. It uses well-studied principles of human behavior, reciprocity, authority, social proof, and twists them into manipulation tactics like gaslighting, guilt-tripping, and emotional exploitation. You see it in ads, in politics, in relationships, and even in yourself. But now you're armed with awareness, and awareness breaks the spell. Influence is powerful, but it only becomes dangerous when it's misused. Protect your mind, guard your emotions, and always question who benefits from your choices, because in the world of dark psychology, the strongest defense is knowing the game.